Ever feel like some people just have this knack for making the right choices?
Like they've got some secret formula for success, whether it's in business or their personal lives or even with their finances.
Right. It's kind of intriguing.
It is.
And today we're going to be doing a deep dive into a chapter from Formula G.
It's a book all about helping startups and SMEs thrive.
And we'll be uncovering why practical and financial wisdom are so important.
And we'll explore some tools that we can use to develop those skills.
And even look at some real-world examples of people and companies that have mastered this.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's start with practical wisdom.
Okay.
It's more nuanced than just street smarts, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. And Formula G actually kicks off this section with a quote from Aristotle himself.
Oh, wow.
And Aristotle believed that practical wisdom was all about understanding what is truly good for yourself and for others, and then having the judgment to act on that knowledge in any situation.
So it's not enough to just know the right thing to do.
Right.
You've got to know when and how to apply that knowledge.
Exactly.
And you know what? Sometimes the wisest move is knowing when to hold back.
Absolutely.
To anything.
Inaction.
Yes.
The book uses some interesting examples of companies that failed to do just that.
Oh, really?
So, for example, do you remember when Western Union dismissed the telephone?
Wow.
Or when HP completely overlooked Steve Wozniak's early personal computers?
Really?
They have the knowledge,
They had the resources.
but they lacked the wisdom to act on it effectively.
Wow, those are some serious missed opportunities.
Yeah.
It really makes you think about what we might be missing out on today.
Right.
It was right under our noses.
Yeah.
But we're just not seeing the potential because we don't have that wisdom.
The practical wisdom,
Yeah.
it's a thought-provoking question for sure. It is.
Right.
And it also highlights that practical wisdom is about challenging assumptions and being open to new ideas.
That's a good point.
Even if those ideas seem unconventional at first,
Yeah.
it's about recognizing that potential before it becomes obvious to everyone else.
So how can we cultivate that kind of foresight?
That's the question, isn't it?
Because it almost feels like you need decades of experience to develop practical wisdom.
Right, and the book actually suggests we don't.
Really?
Yeah, Formula G outlines 3 powerful ways that anyone can start honing their practical wisdom today.
Okay, I'm all ears.
All right.
Hit me with number 1.
So first, it emphasizes the wisdom that we can gain from books.
Yeah.
Reading.
Yeah.
So even if you consider yourself a rule breaker or a disruptor,
Right.
it's essential to understand those foundational theories and principles in your field.
I have that baseline.
Absolutely. You've
Yeah.
got to build from that solid foundation.
Makes sense.
And don't limit yourself to just 1 or 2 books.
Right.
Explore different perspectives.
Oh, yeah.
Look for those common themes
Mhm.
and pay attention to the ideas that resonate most strongly with you.
Okay, so we've got wisdom from books.
Yeah.
What about learning from other people?
Oh, that's a great one.
I feel like there's so much to learn from people that have already gone through it.
Right.
All the ups and downs of business and life.
They've got so much to share.
They do.
Mentorship is incredibly powerful.
Absolutely.
Find successful people in your industry.
Mm-hmm.
Follow their work.
Yeah.
Connect with them.
Reach out.
Right. You might be surprised how willing they are to share those experiences and insights with you.
And sometimes it is just about asking.
It is.
You never know.
Exactly. And don't be shy about reaching out, because the worst that can happen is they say no.
Right.
But you might gain a valuable mentor
Mm.
and learn from their hard-won wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing that the book highlights is the importance of learning from communities.
Oh, the power of collective wisdom,
Yeah.
whether it's online,
Online communities.
LinkedIn,
Yeah.
all different places.
Industry conferences.
Yeah,
There's something special about bouncing ideas off of other people
for sure.
and gaining those diverse perspectives.
Getting those different thoughts.
Right.
Different industries.
Mm-hmm.
It just sparks new ideas.
It does.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate the value of connecting with people who share your passions and challenges.
Yeah.
So we've got wisdom from books.
Yeah.
We've got wisdom from people and wisdom from communities.
Awesome.
It's a great place to start.
That's a good start to building practical wisdom.
It is.
But what about the financial side of things?
The financial side of things.
Yes.
Well, that brings us to financial wisdom,
What?
which the book argues is about so much more than just numbers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it quotes Mir Desai,
Okay.
who was a Harvard Business School professor,
Wow.
and he links finance with philosophy,
Okay.
the search for meaning in life.
That's a fascinating connection.
It is.
How does finance tie into our search for meaning?
So Desai's point is that our financial choices are so deeply intertwined with our values and goals.
Oh, for sure.
It's not about separating work from life,
Mm-hmm.
but it's about understanding that how we manage money can either support
Right.
or hinder our pursuit of a fulfilling life.
So financial wisdom isn't just about crunching numbers.
It's not just about the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
It's about aligning our finances with what truly matters to us.
Yeah.
It's about making those conscious choices that reflect our values and contribute to a life that feels meaningful and purposeful.
I love that perspective.
It's powerful, isn't it?
It is. It makes financial planning feel less like a chore
Yes,
and more like a way to design a life that we actually love.
exactly.
I like that.
And Formula G offers some compelling examples of financial prudence in action.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, like it mentions Japan's transition to accrual accounting.
You know what? I'm not super familiar with accrual accounting.
So accrual accounting is basically a way of recording your transactions as they occur, rather than when the cash actually changes hands.
Right.
So it gives you a clearer picture of a company's overall financial health,
I see.
and it can really support long-term planning.
That makes sense.
The book also discusses Japan's implementation of debt-to-equity ratio controls
Okay.
before the 1990 market crash.
Right.
And that's a really great example of how financial wisdom can actually help mitigate risk. Because by keeping those debt levels in check,
Yeah.
businesses can be more resilient during tough economic times.
So it's not just about maximizing profits in the short term. You're thinking long game,
Absolutely.
building a sustainable foundation.
Exactly. Formula G emphasizes that true financial wisdom goes beyond textbook formulas,
Right.
especially during those times of crisis.
And speaking of crises, the book has some interesting observations about the 2020 pandemic.
It does.
It highlights how some companies focused on cost cutting as a way to, stay alive,
Right?
while others already had pre-crisis strategies in
Okay,
place
we're already prepared.
that helped them weather the storm.
It's all about being proactive, isn't it?
It is, and the book uses the example of Tata, the Indian multinational conglomerate, which famously resisted mass layoffs during those difficult times.
I remember reading about that.
Yeah, it was a powerful example of, combining that financial wisdom
Absolutely.
with compassion for their employees, a commitment to their people.
Exactly. The book's point is that companies are more than just numbers.
Right.
They're made up of people.
Exactly.
And treating those people well can be good for business ethically and strategically.
For sure.
It all circles back to that idea that financial wisdom isn't just about profit.
Yeah.
It's about creating value for everyone involved.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have
Practical wisdom,
financial wisdom.
inspiring examples.
Some great stuff.
But how do we actually put all of this wisdom into practice in our own lives?
That's the million-dollar question.
Does the book offer any guidance?
It does. It does. Formula G provides some great questions for self-reflection to help us get started.
Oh, okay, like what?
Well, it asks us, what percentage of our income are we saving?
Okay.
Are we investing wisely? And what about our expenses?
Okay.
Are we spending more than we earn?
Right.
Especially on things that we don't really need.
Are we falling into debt traps?
All of that.
It's so easy to fall into those spending habits, though,
It is.
especially when things are going well.
When you're feeling good.
Yeah, you want to celebrate and,
Absolutely.
enjoy it. But like we were talking about earlier, financial discipline is something that we build now,
Right.
not when a crisis hits.
Exactly. And it's not about deprivation.
Right.
It's about making those conscious choices.
Yes.
And ensuring that our spending aligns with our values and goals.
The book suggests aiming to save about 30% of our income for 20 years.
Yes.
It seems like a lot.
It's a significant chunk,
It is.
but it can create a powerful financial cushion for you.
Right.
So it can help you navigate unexpected challenges and also seize opportunities when they arrive.
So it's not just about having the money saved.
Right.
It's knowing how to use it effectively.
It's about having that financial wisdom
Yes.
to know how to use that money.
Right. And every crisis is different.
Yeah,
It presents unique challenges.
absolutely.
And the ability to adapt and make those informed financial decisions is crucial.
It is.
The book highlights Nike's success in China during the pandemic as a really great example of wisdom in action.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one.
What did they do that was so smart?
Well, they were incredibly proactive.
Okay.
When the stores were closed and closures became really widespread, they shifted their focus to digital sales and marketing.
Smart.
So they were leveraging their existing online infrastructure.
So they were already set up.
To some extent, yes. And then as things started to improve, they
Mhm.
reopened their physical stores, but they did it strategically.
Uh-huh.
They were very careful about managing their supply chains and distribution networks.
So really understanding their market.
Yeah, having that market understanding and that financial prudence.
It seems like that combination really paid off.
It did, because Nike demonstrated that even in times of uncertainty,
Mm-hmm.
businesses can not only survive, but thrive
Right.
when they make wise choices.
Yeah.
It all comes back to wisdom.
So looking back at what we've discussed today, it seems like we've really explored why practical and financial wisdom are so important.
We have.
The tools that we can use to develop these skills.
Yes.
And we've even seen some really incredible examples of individuals and companies who have mastered these things.
And I think what stands out to me the most is that wisdom isn't some mystical quality
Yeah.
that's reserved for a select few.
It's accessible to all of us if
Right.
we work at it.
Exactly.
It's something that we can cultivate
Absolutely.
with conscious effort.
Yes, and intention.
And it starts with those simple steps, like reading, seeking out mentors, engaging in communities,
Yeah,
and being proactive about our financial planning.
it does.
It's about making those small choices today that can lead to a much brighter future.
I love that.
And you know what? The beauty of all of this is that the more we learn,
Right.
the more we realize how much more there is to discover.
Absolutely. It's a lifelong journey.
Which brings us to a really thought-provoking quote from Socrates that the book highlights.
Okay.
He said, "The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing."
Wow.
Powerful words.
Powerful words.
It reminds us to stay humble,
Yes.
to be open to new perspectives,
Mm-hmm.
and to embrace the journey of lifelong learning.
And to always be a student
Yeah.
of life.
Exactly. So for our listeners, we have a challenge for you.
Okay.
If the wisest people are those that acknowledge they don't have all the answers,
Mm-hmm.
what's one thing that you're going to commit to learning more about this week
Yeah.
to boost your own wisdom?
Pick a topic
Yeah.
that excites you and dive in.
This is just the beginning.
It
of
is.
your journey.
The beginning of your wisdom journey.
Yes, exactly. And share what you're exploring with us.
Yeah, we want to hear from you.
We're in this together. We're always looking for new things to learn.
Always.
And if you stumble upon any interesting insights or resources along the way, we'd love to hear about them.
Absolutely, because sharing knowledge is how we all grow
Yeah.
and learn from each other.
I love that. And it's what makes these deep dives so rewarding.
It is.
It's about exploring new ideas together
Mm-hmm.
and empowering ourselves to make those wiser choices in all aspects of our lives.
It's been a pleasure sharing this journey with you all.
Until next time, keep diving deep and keep seeking that wisdom